Hello, and welcome to the Get Lean and Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin. I'm a certified health coach, trainer, and author. And this podcast is for middle-aged men and women looking to optimize their health and get their bodies back to what it once was 10 to 15 years ago. I will give you simple, actionable items to get long-term sustainable results. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. All right. Welcome to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. My name is Brian Grin, and today we're going to talk about a hormone that can help you reach your weight loss goals. And that hormone is called Ghrelin. Have you ever heard of it? Well, you're going to hear all about it today. It's the hunger hormone. Before I go into that, I'm going to sort of talk to you about the psychology with eating, because a lot of times what happens is you have that first bite and then it leads to a lot more. And it's the whole idea with, having appetizers, right? Restaurants obviously want you to spend more money and buy that appetizer, but that's also going to lead to increased hunger and you're going to order more. So with Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, this is what stimulates appetite. It increases your food intake. It promotes fat storage, and Ghrelin causes almost, those stomach rumblings that you get as a physical reminder to eat. Now, it's important to understand this hormone because as we talk, in order to control our weight loss goals and to get where we want to go, we have to sort of understand what Ghrelin is and how it can affect us. So if you want to lose weight on a long-term basis, you want to bring down Ghrelin. Now, you're probably thinking, well, how do I do that? One would think that you'd actually bring down Ghrelin by actually eating all the time, right? Because it's your hunger hormone. And you think, oh, well, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat and it'll bring that down. But a lot of times that's not the answer. Grazing all day is not the answer. The opposite is actually true, and that is fasting. So I'm going to give you some main points that I took away from a study that was done on Ghrelin by the Society of the European Journal. And one of the things was that Ghrelin levels are lowest first thing in the morning around 9 a.m., which is the longest time of the day where you most likely have not eaten anything if you fasted overnight. And it proves that hunger is not a function of not having eaten in a while, right? Like you would think Ghrelin would be sky high, in the morning because you haven't eaten in a while, but that's not true. Also, hunger comes in waves, and I've talked about this before, right? You're going to get peaks when you're used to eating, right? Lunch, dinner, breakfast. So you're going to get like these three slight peaks in Ghrelin, but it comes back down even if you don't eat. So think about it. Even if you skip a meal, that Ghrelin level will still come back down. So think of a time when you like worked right through lunch and you didn't even realize it. You're like, oh, I just missed lunch. I was so busy. And okay, I'll just keep moving on with the day. So over the day of fasting in this study, Ghrelin actually stayed stable. So even fasting a whole day, eating nothing over 24 hours made you no more or less hungry than when you started. I know it's hard to believe, and I will say, as a faster every day and doing some extended fast, this is true. It might be concluded that the secretion of Ghrelin is actually just subject to the process of a classical conditioning, right? Like the Pavlov's dogs, where, it's like you get used to eating at these certain times and the hormone will just spike. So Ghrelin, our main hormonal mediator of hunger, does not actually increase to crazy levels from intermittent or extended fasts. One would think you'd be ravenously hungry after fasting, but actually the opposite is true, and hunger actually sort of dissipates. So the whole idea is perhaps it's time to mix things up. I always recommend, pushing back a meal or eating it perhaps at a different time and closing up that eating window. And you'll start to realize that, you don't need to have that meal at 7 a.m. and one at noon. I like to mix it up. And actually, I've been pushing my meal and my eating window between about 2 and 6. So if you keep getting the same results with your weight loss goals, I would try this out. This is obviously one of the reasons why fasting is so effective. So remember, this is not calorie restriction. This is not eating small amounts throughout the day. This is going periods with no food. But when you eat, you can have a full, satisfying meal and then go back into your fasting mode. So I hope this helps describe what Ghrelin is and how you can make it work in your advantage towards your weight loss goals. So feel free to subscribe if you want to hear more of these micro podcasts, and I do interviews every week as well. And also join the 21-day fasting challenge. You get daily emails, and I'm going to just guide you through making fasting a lifestyle change. And it's not just a one size fits all thing, but it's sort of going to ease you into fasting and make it a lot easier. So let me know if you have any questions regarding this. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and thanks so much for listening. Thanks for listening to the Get Lean, Eat Clean podcast. I understand there are millions of other podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, and I appreciate that. Check out the show notes at briangrin.com for everything that was mentioned in this episode. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend or family member that's looking to get their body back to what it once was. Thanks again, and have a great day.